Welcome back. In this series, we've looked at the process for solving a problem using analytics and applied that process to a marketing problem, that of figuring out whether or not we should run Facebook ads. In our previous video, we discovered that our Facebook ads were costing us $2,136 and generating $3,686.34 of revenue. Based on that information, we are going to provide some recommendations. Now, this step is mandatory for every analysis. You set out to enable an action in step 1. Now that you've done the analysis, you need to come back and provide a recommendation. What are you going to do? So to answer that question, let's go back to the problem statement that we started with. Determine if the incremental sales generated from the Facebook ads I've run, outweigh the cost of the ads themselves. Given the analysis that we just performed, we can definitively say, yes, the incremental sales generated outweigh the cost of the ads. Fantastic. So our recommendation would be continue running Facebook ads. Now, if you work for a corporation, this is where you typically take your analysis, port it over to a PowerPoint in order to communicate the recommendations back to whoever asked for the analysis. Typically, that's a project manager or an executive sponsor or something like that. Because you've gone through a well-documented, structured process, that becomes very, very easy because these steps port very well into a PowerPoint setting. One thing I like to do with all of my analysis is I like to highlight next steps here. So we use some proxies throughout the analysis, and while I think they were good and reasonable and we checked them to make sure that they were reasonable, it'd be nice if we could get rid of those. So as a potential next step, we could figure out how to track users specifically to get more accurate. Alternatively, if we're running different versions of Facebook ads, or maybe running those ads across many geographic regions, we might want to look at each ad specifically to determine if some are more effective than others. There's lots of different places you could take the analysis from here, and your recommendation section is a really great place to do that. So to recap, there are 5 steps to an analytics process: defining the problem, generating questions, creating the analysis plan, performing the analysis, and developing recommendations. Each one of these steps are important. Skipping over any of them will result in an incomplete project and likely means you'll spend longer doing the job than if you had just followed the process. Trust me, I've discovered this and rediscovered this many, many times. I hope you've enjoyed my series on the analytics process. If you have questions, make sure you leave them in a comment below. If I get enough of them, I'll do another video answering the questions themselves. Lastly, please remember to leave a like if you enjoyed it or learned something, and click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell your friends if they'd find it useful. Thank you very much, and happy analysis.